everyone, welcome to another Stretch This Sketch video. There's the sketch we are using for the month. I am so very excited to be participating again. I hadn't gotten to there for a few months. The reason was our daughter kept getting sick, and she actually had surgery this week to remove both her tonsils and her adenoids. She is not yet 3. So they said that's very young for that surgery, but what the symptoms she was having was bad enough that they wanted to get that done for her. It's only been, let's see, she had him out just a couple days ago. I mean, we actually only got home yesterday as of when I'm doing the voiceover on this. So last night was our first night home, and I can't believe the difference in her already. So glad that's done. Hopefully that relieves the sickness and I can participate more frequently. So let me get to the layout here, which is why you're all here, right? This is a Felicity Jane kit. I have been trying to work on killing those kits. I have many here. Too many for my comfort in the fact of I've been trying to reduce my stash. I unfortunately actually canceled my subscription just last month because I have such a backlog of them, and I really want to make a dent in my space this year. My goal is to reduce the size of my craft area. My craft area is in my family room. So on one side of the family room is my craft room. In the other corner is my husband's music corner. And then obviously the kids kind of have the rest of the room. But I would like to reduce the size of my craft area by probably about 18 inches, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. I also managed to, it's a U shape, but I also had enough on the open end of the U that all I could do was walk into the space. So it was almost like, a circle or a square. Yeah, there we go. But I managed to go through enough that it is technically a complete U. That entrance is completely open. So yes, getting back to my point, using up these kits. So I believe this is the last layout I did with this particular kit. You see, I have 3 different photos. Well, actually 4 different photos, but 3 different themed photos there. The one I ended up using, this is our daughter during her 2nd birthday photo shoot. The one was me during that photo shoot, and the other was my husband and I on his birthday last year. I actually got our wedding tattoo on his birthday. So that's why those pictures relate to each other. But I went with this one of our daughter. It just seemed to, I think it had the least amount of other colors. Like my jacket in my photo obviously had a bunch of colors. They all matched this kit, but and then my wedding tattoo and my husband's shirt obviously were very colorful, still matched this kit. But the simplicity of just our daughter against the green, I don't know what they are. I'm not versed in my foliage, but they almost looked to me like a moss that grew off a tree. They were kind of like fluffy tendrils, but just her in that little blue dress against the green really allowed everything to shine. The colors and patterns weren't competing with each other as to which one you should look at. So I I really wanted to use that floral piece of paper, but I never know how to use them. And I had put that paper up in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club party last month, where Christina had called for what is a piece of paper that you love but you're not sure how to use, and we'll try to give you ideas. So I put that piece of paper up, and Christina actually mentioned cutting just a strip and using it, vertically on one side of the page. So when I saw the sketch for this month and it had that element in it, I'm like, that's it. That is what I'm doing. I am using this paper. And I'm actually very pleased with how it turned out. So that obviously is there. And then I'm going to fuss around, and I believe I cut some of this out. These were like fringed tissue paper that came in the kit, and I love the way it ends up looking on the layout when it's completed, but dang, were they hard to work with. They just kind of got stuck everywhere, and I couldn't get them fluffed the way I wanted, and yep, it is not a supply I would choose to purchase myself. But again, I liked the way it came out in the end. I do end up going with the white, the pink with the softness of her photo and the softness of that floral. It was just too harsh for my taste. My eye went immediately there instead of the photo or, the layout as a whole. I do have a piece of that floral paper left. Obviously, I only cut off, a bit there. And I think, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I think I'm going to try to do one of those cut files where you cut it out of like the whole piece of paper. Say it looks like, I know Paige Evans does them. It looks like, say, a pie, but it also has, rings in it, or obviously a snowflake wouldn't work, but you'll know what I'm talking about when the whole background has cut out snowflakes in it. And I think I might try to use it that way, to use it up. But tell me what you think. Do you have a suggestion for how to use the rest of that beautiful floral up? There is no complete flower cluster that I could cut out, fussy cut out. So that I will be upfront about, because I know a lot of people do that with their florals. Now I'm going to start working on embellishments. I feel like this took me literally forever. And it didn't. The whole layout, start to finish, only took me, about an hour. But when I go to edit my videos, I realize that, my paper gets down, I don't want to say quickly, but fairly easily. And then I sit and I fuss around about embellishments for literally ever. So if the video takes me 45 minutes to an hour, let's say, and I'm editing it, I'll go, you've got to be kidding me. I've got my paper down, I've got, my photo backed, blah, blah, blah. And there's like 40 minutes of video left, I'm like, what? So I try to speed up or cut out the very obvious or uninteresting parts. But tell me what part of the layout for you always seems to be the most difficult. Do you have trouble choosing your papers? Do you have trouble creating layers? What part is most difficult for you? Definitely for me, it's the embellishments. I also fuss around a lot on my dimension, because I'll go, okay, I'm going to add the, like I added the foam on the right hand side of the photo because of that, the tissue paper underneath the floral paper, it had been sewn at the top, so that created a bump, and I needed that height. And then I'm like, okay, as I was feeling it, it felt like the left-hand side of the photo would fall in the album, if that makes any sense, and there'd be a crease where that foam was on the right-hand side. So that's why you see me playing around here, putting that foam on the left-hand side. I do put my die cuts up on pop dots. One little trick I have learned is if you put your die cuts, or I mean your photo up on foam, sometimes you will need to put a double layer of pop dots on your embellishments to get them up over the photo. So one of these embellishments is cardstock, and one of them is chipboard, which is nice because it gives them both a different height. Not ridiculously different, but enough that it adds some interest to the page. Now I'm going to, that doily, I really wanted that doily on the page. That is a mini paper doily from Doodlebug. They are 3x3. And it just added up in that corner. I actually have the layout sitting right here next to me. It just added some softness behind that floral. So it didn't seem like the floral was just, since it had some height, was just floating in that white, white cardstock space. So that doily was perfect for that. The only colors of the Doodlebug doilies I have are like the baby pink and the white. And I think on my next go-round when I order supplies for the store, I think I'm going to order some for myself. I really like that 3x3 size. So now I'm putting on my little tiny embellishments. I have some of these. They're actually beads for bracelets. The white bead with the heart. I got those, I don't remember if it was, I think it was eBay. If not, it was AliExpress. And then my sequins, because, I have 800,000 sequins. So I try to get some of those on each page when it's appropriate to, use some up. Because I bet you I could use sequins on every page I made for the next 5 years and still have sequins, because you use 3 or 4 in each cluster, or 2 or 3, and there's still a million in a package. So now I'm going to work on my title. I am going to use that beautiful, and then just going to keep it simple with Beautiful Girl. This is the alphabet that came with the kit. It's just white with a tiny little polka dot in black. It's just enough that it isn't all white that would fade into the background, so that was perfect. They are chipboard, so of course I am going to use my liquid glue to keep them down, because I know, like a lot of you have found that the chipboard, the adhesive falls off over time, and that's not just a Felicity Jane thing, that is a Thickers thing, that is a Paper Studio thing. It's the chipboard. So there is my Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. I cut out, the 8,000 minutes that I had to shake it to make sure I don't get those oil rings. So I end up using just that. I did look at a couple other pink colors, but they just ended up not being the right pink. And now I'm going to pull out my very old typewriter. I love it. My sister-in-law bought it for me. I am hoping I can find another ribbon when this one finally goes. I like that it, when it types, it's vintagey looking. It's not an electronic typewriter. I'm hoping to use this more often because I really dislike my handwriting, and I find that I don't journal on my pages just because of that. So on the pages I have space enough to do the typing. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're coming to the end here, guys. Please go down in the description box below all of the other ladies who are participating this month, as well as where to find me on some of the other social media channels. I'll also include links to some of the products that I used in this video down below if there's something you have seen in here and go, oh, I have to have that. I do that with YouTube videos. I start a list of things to put on my wish list. Some of them stay there for a long time, and some of them I go get right away. But until next month, guys, I really hope to be participating more frequently now. We can cross our fingers that we're well on the way to healthy and happy. You know, it breaks a mama's heart when they're constantly not feeling well. So let me know what you think of this layout. And any other comments or questions or things you'd like to see on my channel. I would really love to hear from you guys. It's the comments that make the work of videoing and editing and voiceover worth it. And I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you along with me on this YouTube journey. So thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.